Watch this video and let's talk about what we're seeing here on the back end, because what you're seeing here is absolutely stunning.
So, number one, when the Pope says that God is never on the side of those who wield the sword, there is more than a 1,000-year tradition of just war theory. Okay? Now, we can, of course, have disagreements about whether this or that conflict is just, but I think that it's important, in the same way that it's important for the Vice President of the United States to be careful when I talk about matters of public policy, I think it's very, very important for the Pope to be careful when he talks about matters of theology. And I think that one of these issues here is that there has been, again, hey, random dude screaming, I told you I'd respond to your point. I just want to respond to this question first. But I think one of the issues here is that if you're going to opine on matters of theology, you've got to be careful. You've got to make sure it's anchored in the truth. And that's one of the things that I try to do. And it's certainly something I would expect from the clergy, whether they're Catholic or Protestant. Now,
so what did you just see in that video? Well, first and foremost, you saw a person who claims to be Catholic telling the Pope, hey, you should watch what you're saying about theology, which I find incredibly interesting, first and foremost. Arguing over which parts of the Bible we should be adhering to, which parts of the Bible we should be focusing on, and what God does or does not want. I think it's interesting that you see a member of the church and the leader of the church having this very public back and forth. But more importantly to me, what you're seeing there is a man in J.D. Vance who is standing by a man who he himself, J.D. Vance, called America's Hitler. Said that he could never bring himself to vote for him because he leads conservatives to a very dark place. You're seeing J.D. Vance defend that man against the Pope. You're seeing J.D. Vance take the side of a man who has Lord knows how many credible sexual assault allegations against him at this point in time, and has been adjudicated as having assaulted at least one woman in a court of law. That's the man J.D. Vance is standing by instead of the Pope. A man who bragged about sexually assaulting women on audio tape and opined, if I could use J.D. Vance's word there, about young girls for years and years and years. That's who J.D. Vance is standing by instead of the Pope. A man who, if the allegations that we've seen so far, and we still have 3 million more files yet to be released, if the allegations that we've seen so far are even half accurate, a man in Donald Trump who has done things that would make a Catholic priest blush, that's who J.D. Vance is standing beside rather than the Pope. And what's he going to war with the Pope about? Because the Pope is trying to promote global peace. He's saying, hey, maybe we shouldn't be doing this shit in Iran. J.D. Vance is choosing to stand by the President of the United States, who demands to get a Nobel Peace Prize, even though he has attacked multiple countries and continues to threaten to attack multiple other countries, instead of siding with the leader of his church, who all he's advocating for is global peace. Every one of these motherfuckers has sold every ounce of their soul, dignity, and credibility to the altar of Trumpism.